Are you a baby boomer? Or maybe you know a baby boomer? If so, today's episode 334 of the Delaware Blogger Podcast is for you because I'm going to talk about why boomers should tune into podcasts, unlocking a new world of entertainment and education. Just the other day, my husband's aunt, she called and she asked my husband how I was using my podcast to talk to the dead. Huh? I don't use my podcast as a medium to reach the other side. I do, however, use my podcast as a medium to leave a legacy. And then a few minutes later, a light bulb moment hit. She had only read the promo from last Saturday's podcast show, but she didn't listen to it. Remember, I talked about the importance of podcasts for families, and I was actually talking about families, encouraging families to start a podcast now that we're alive so that later we can hear the voices of our loved ones. And my husband started telling me about a story that was similar. There's an NFL player who keeps his mother's cell phone service active so that he can call and hear her voicemail greeting. And, he can even leave her messages because she passed away. But it gives him comfort to hear her voice. And that is something that I truly miss. I used to have a recorded taped message from my sister when she was killed in a car accident in 1992. And I used to call it and listen to her voice and what I wouldn't do or what I wouldn't give to hear her voice now. Oh man, I just wish that I could still hear her voice. So again, in today's episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast, I'm sharing why boomers, such as myself, I'm a proud boomer, why we should be tuning into podcasts, unlocking a new world of entertainment and education. Now, as the baby boomer generation continues to age, it's important for us to stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies. And I know it can be overwhelming, but one of the most popular trends this year or in recent years is podcasts. Podcasts are great. They are a great way for boomers to stay informed and entertained, and they offer a wide variety of topics to choose from. You can listen to podcasts about literally everywhere. And podcasts are great. They're a great way for boomers to stay informed about current events, politics, food, education, health, and wellness. There are just so many topics out there that are important to us, and we can find a podcast to listen to, and then we can listen to them while we're sitting on the sofa, walking in the park, gardening, walking the dog, doing dishes, just relaxing, whatever the case may be. They're convenient. They are so convenient to listen to. And podcasts can provide more in-depth topics, more an in-depth look into topics that you get from traditional news and, newspapers. And you can listen to them anywhere at any time. You just pop your earbuds in or just turn on your smartphone, your tablet, even your laptop. You can listen to a podcast. Podcasts can also provide a great way to stay connected to our younger generations. Our young people, they're doing interviews. They're discussing topics that are relevant to boomers. Again, there are topics out there for us on health, wellness, finance, and family fun, and even interviews. Again, I was talking to a fellow boomer who's also a member of Delaware State University Alumni Association. And he said, I remember the podcast that you did when you interviewed blah, 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 blah. And that did my heart well because he actually took time to listen and he learned more about the topic and more about the person or the people that I was interviewing. So it is great. Podcasts are great. They're a great source of entertainment as well. A podcast can cover a wide range of topics, from comedy to true crime to sports. books. There's books, audio podcasts. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk to the authors at the Authors Meet and Greet book signing that I'm hosting on May 20th at Helping One More Entrepreneur, located at 108 Patriot Drive. I'm going to have 10 local award-winning authors there, and they're going to be there to, read excerpts from their book. You can you can purchase a copy, an autographed copy of their book. And this is open and free to the public. So mark your calendar for May 20th from 10 to 2 at Helping One More Entrepreneur, 108 Patriot Drive in Middletown, Delaware, to come out to the authors meet and greet and book signing. So you can come out and listen to them. But if not, if you're an author and you have a book and you want to turn it into an audiobook, a podcast is a great way in which to do so. Now, boomers can find podcasts that fit their interests. They can listen to it when they're doing other things, like I said, while they're exercising or commuting, when they're, out and about or just at home doing nothing. Podcasts can also provide a great way to stay connected with your friends and your families, because a lot of these podcasts are featuring interviews with people who are discussing topics with their family and their friends, like we talked about last week. Wouldn't it be great to share recipes, to share anecdotes, to talk about what it was like when you were in school, or what it was like, when you lived in a certain area. So podcasts, again, they are a great way for boomers to stay connected with their communities. And again, business owners have podcasts, politicians have podcasts, community leaders have podcasts. So listening to those podcasts can help boomers stay informed about what's going on in the communities, and it can help us stay connected with our neighbors. And that's the premise of my other podcast, Out and About with Antoinette. If you don't know, I got that second podcast, Out and About with Antoinette, every Wednesday at 1. I am interviewing people from in and around the state of Delaware that are doing positive things. So if you didn't know, now you know. I'm the boomer who'll be 62 in September, and I am loving podcasting. I am loving listening to podcasts. I'm loving recording podcasts. And overall, podcasts are a great way for boomers to stay informed, entertained, and connected. And with so many topics to choose from, there's got to be a podcast that's going to fit every boomer's interest. So if you're a boomer, give podcasts a try and see what you might be missing. So when you read the promo of a podcast, like my husband's aunt did, make sure that you tune in, because you never know. It might be about how you can communicate with the dead, or it could be why you should start a podcast before you're dead. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast. And if you found anything of interest, please subscribe, leave a review, share it with your family, your friends, your bae, and your boo too. And subscribe to my blog, because, the show notes are going to be there. That's the delblogger.com blog. And there I'm giving you other podcasting pointers. You're getting the shows and all that other good stuff. And if you're interested in starting a podcast, send an email to me at info@ablakeenterprises.com. We'll schedule a 15-minute complimentary discovery call, and then we can get you enrolled in the 5-week podcast coaching sessions to get you on your way to starting a podcast today. So until the next time, this is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger, wishing you and yours a beautifully blessed day. And remember, sharing is caring. So please share this episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast with someone that might be interested. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger.